Determining rate of change. What is the definition for rate of change? Rate of change is defined as the amount by which one quantity changes relative to the change in another quantity during equal intervals. By comparing 2 points on a graph of a function, you can determine how the values of the two sets of points have changed. Let's take a look. Here is a graph showing 2 points, x1, y1, with the values 2, 3, x2, y2 with the values 5, 6. So the slope of a line can be used to determine the average rate of change between the 2 points on the line that represents the function, as given in our diagram. From the previous slideshow, you can find the equation to be given by the formula slope equals y2 minus y1 divide by x2 minus x1, where x1, y1 and x2, y2 are 2 points on the graph as shown in our diagram. So in our example, x1, y1, as we said, is 2, 3, and x2, y2 is 5, 6. If we substitute or put in the values into the formula, you can find the slope of the line. Let's take a look at an example. Hilda owns several hens on her family's farm. She decides to record the total number of eggs produced by the hens over a given time period. The question: what is the rate of change for the total number of eggs with respect to the total number of days given in the graph provided? By looking at the graph, we can see that the rate of change is constant. This means that the slope between any 2 points is the same or constant, and the graph is a straight line going up. Using this method we were given on the previous slide, we're going to use this formula to find the rate of change. Now, remember, the slope is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, where x1, y1 and x2, y2 are 2 points on the graph. Here is the graph of the situation. From the graph, identify 2 points that can be used in the calculation. We've identified a point at x1, y1 at 0, 0, and a point x2, y2 at 5, 30. Why did we use these 2 points? Because we want to find 2 points that have exact values. By that I mean where the x line and the y line perfectly intersect. So if we come up from 5 and go across to 30, it intersects exactly at the point 530. Now, we can write down x1, y1 equals 0, 0, and x2, y2 is 530. Substitute into the formula for calculating slopes. So we will now write slope equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 is equal to 30 minus 0 and 5 minus 0. Doing the math, we get 30 divided by 5, so the slope of the line is 6. This means it goes up 6 units for every 1 unit it goes along the x-axis. So the rate of change is 6 eggs a day. Finding the rate of change given a graph. We can use this formula to predict how many eggs would be available for the days not given in the chart. For example, how many days of collecting eggs will it take Hilda to reach 60 eggs collected? First, we will determine the equation for this function. The formula we will use, because it's a linear equation, is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope of the line. The slope of the line is represented by rate of change. We found m is equal to 6 in the previous slide. B is the y-intercept, where the line crosses the y-axis. In our example, the y-intercept is 0, and therefore the equation is 6x plus 0. For example, how many days of collecting eggs will it take to reach 60 eggs? The equation is y equals 6x plus 0. From this question, we are asked to determine how many days of collecting eggs. This means that y is equal to 60, as we know that the total number of eggs produced is represented by the y-axis. To solve, substitute this value into the equation and solve for x. Y equals 6x. 60 is equal to 6x. We divide 60 by 6 and we get the answer 10. Therefore, it will take 10 days to collect 60 eggs. Given any 2 points, x1, y1, x2, y2, m is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. This is a very important formula for us to know. Now it's your turn to practice.